Very poignant and emotional day for the Queen today, facing her first wedding anniversary after the death of her husband, Prince Philip. It's been 7 months since the Duke passed away at the age of 99.
Yes, Princess Elizabeth married Lieutenant Philip Mountbatten in Westminster Abbey on November the 20th in 1947. Well, joining us now is the legend and royal author Rob Jobson. Really good to see you, Rob. Look, this is a really sad moment for Her Majesty the Queen, of course. She would normally have been celebrating this with her beloved Prince Philip by her side, but her first one on her own.
Yes, but I'm sure the members of the royal family will rally around her today. The Prince of Wales just returned from a very successful trip of Jordan and Egypt. I'm sure that he'll pop in and see her and other members of the royal family too. They've all been rallying around Her Majesty since the death of the great man. And I think that it must be sad, but the very fact that she is a very devout lady and would have celebrated the fact that she was fortunate to spend it was 73 years married to him, which is a remarkable achievement and a remarkable marriage.
Look, when the Duke of Edinburgh passed away, much reflection was made over the love story between the two of them. And it really is a moment, isn't it, to reflect on that. I mean, it was an incredibly long marriage, but Her Majesty the Queen was giddy about Prince Philip when she married him, wasn't she? And what a strong marriage they had.
Well, she was. I mean, she obviously first met him as a teenager, and he was a pretty dashing catch as well. I mean, he had an extraordinary life. Though he was royalty by blood, he was pretty penniless, actually, and she made it clear that he was the man that she wanted, and what a great choice. I think the King said that taking on that role of consort to the Queen and supporting the Queen was really, in many ways, more difficult than the job itself. And he made such a great fist of it, really, in terms of what he achieved through all the things he did in his life, from campaigning for the environment and wildlife, and also the Duke of Edinburgh's award scheme, as well as supporting the Queen. But, he also independently went round the world as a fantastic person in terms of being a very successful Royal Naval officer.
Rob, what do we know about the health of the Queen at the moment? Because I do wonder whether the loss of Prince Philip in any way contributes towards her general health. What are you hearing? Because she obviously missed Remembrance Sunday due to a sprained back, apparently.
Well, there's been a number of incidents that sort of added together have made the Queen unfortunately miss a number of events, which is unusual because she's such a dutiful person that's been, really out there from the very beginning, all through her reign, and it's unusual for us to experience this. But, the reality is that she and the Duke of Edinburgh spent a long time in lockdown in the pandemic, and then when they emerged afterwards, she really did start throwing herself at the work and doing a lot of engagements, perhaps too many. It obviously had an impact upon her, but she'll pace herself. She uses digital technology. She uses all that's available to her, and I think her courtiers are and medical team are keeping an eye out for her, obviously, to make sure she doesn't overdo it. The family really will rally around the Queen now. The Duke, as I said, the Prince of Wales was just out in Jordan and Egypt on effectively a state visit, which was very successful, the Duchess of Cornwall. And those two, that couple, plus the Prince William and the Duchess of Cambridge, will be supporting the Queen along with the other members of the family. And that's really the way it has to be. We can't really guess on the Queen's health. Personally, it's difficult to know. Obviously, they're not going to tell us, but she did look a little frail in the last pictures we saw, and obviously a lot of people, when she counsels events, will be concerned.
Yeah, you're not worried about her potentially not being able to address the nation on Christmas Day, in just over a month's time?
I don't think that's a problem. I think that she's able to, as she did for COP26, give an address which is effectively pre-recorded, and I'm sure she'll do that very well. And I'm sure, is looking forward to Christmas like most of us, and inviting her family to Sandringham. But I think that, we've got to remember, as the Prince of Wales said, that, when he's 73 now, and when asked about his mother, he said, well, at 95, it's it takes its toll. She is an older lady, and I think that we've just got to expect that she won't be carrying out engagements and doing the things we've seen her do. Even in her early 90s, I think that we should expect there to be occasions when other members of the royal family will step in and support her in the way that they are there to do.
Yeah, and one of those members who won't be stepping in, who may well be rallying around her at Christmas and today on her wedding anniversary, but won't be stepping into any of her royal duties, will, of course, be Prince Andrew. And it is this weekend that marks 2 years since that car crash Newsnight interview with Emily Maitlis about those allegations of sexual assault by Virginia Giuffre.
Look, it's very difficult, I think, for the Queen and Prince Andrew. Obviously, these allegations have been made. They're very public. I've interviewed and met the Duke of York on a number of occasions, and it seems to me a completely. My view is that he does. I don't agree with trial by media. Unfortunately, that car crash interview was just awful, and it led to a lot of people believing that he had something to hide. I personally think it was more to do with the fact that he was not prepared properly, or didn't have his clear case in his head of what he was going to do or go and say, and it didn't come across very well at all. But the allegations are appalling, and in some cases, if there's any truth in them, of course, that the Duke should be held to account. But a judge in America called a lot of these allegations pernicious and threw them out in terms of the criminal case. So we're dealing with a civil case at the moment. We'll have to see where that goes. But it means in terms of the Queen, which is what we're talking about today, that she's one of her lieutenants down, and a very important one. And I think actually, if all of this whole case hadn't come to the fore, he would have played a much more important public role in terms of supporting the Queen and stepping into that liege man role alongside the Queen. But I don't see there's any way back for him unless he clears his name, not only in a civil case but also in a criminal case. And I don't see that's going to happen.
Yeah. Rob, really good to talk to you this morning. Thank you.